Hey guys, still here and welcome back to the Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts 1940s Battlecruiser tournament. It's a whole mouthful. Next time I'll have to abbreviate it somehow. Anyway, today Japan versus China. Japan, 18-inch guns, serious torpedo launchers, and 13-inch secondary primaries. Anyway, it's a smaller caliber. The Chinese are a bit more balanced in the sense that they have an okay amount of guns, they have an okay caliber of guns, they're a bit more average. And so far served them well, they're ahead by 1 point relative to Japan. Can they increase the lead? Can they take down the Japanese ships? Let's find out in this battle. There she is, Kaguya Shinomiya. It makes a 13-inch, 18-inch, and 24-inch torpedoes. I love this design because it's so unusual. We've seen them do pretty well, we've seen them do pretty poorly. So I find it very hard to predict the outcome of this battle. This can very much go extremely well if you land an 18-inch hit and it actually manages to pen the ship. You inflict tons and tons and tons of damage. If the 18-inchers get bad RNG, then let's say a more balanced ship, like the Chinese with their 8 15.9s, has the potential to do a lot better because it's more reliable. It is less one-trick pony with those 18s. The reload on the 18s is still really good. It's 43 seconds. It's really impressive. Torpedo-wise, you have a 16-kilometer range, so we're definitely not there yet. But it's something that can happen, as ships tend to approach each other quite quickly. The Kaguyas can do 30 knots. Armor-wise, they're very well protected. Foredeck and aft deck, however, are very concerning. Because with that fore and aft deck, it means at these ranges, you're extremely vulnerable. These shells plunging through your deck armor can destroy the ship very quickly. Now when it comes to their turret armor, that's plenty. Especially the 18s. The 18-inch guns are extremely well protected and very unlikely to take any kind of punishment. The Chinese are probably going to get their best option if they try to pen the deck of the ship. So, arguably, it is very much in favor of the Chinese to stay at range. They do have some secondaries in the form of 10 6-inchers or 5.9s. But so far, I've seen the 5.9s just not do a whole lot of damage. The British 7s? Yes. The British 7-inch guns have done a lot of damage. The other ones, really not that much. Another full volley, and the Kaguya has taken some damage. She's also dished it out. She's done 1.2k and traded for 427. Can we land some 18-inch shells? I've seen one of these things hit. That was a partial, that was a 13-inch. The Hyai and Okuhutaka enjoying also slugging this lead ship. Yep, that was an 18-inch overpen. Okay. And that was a deck part. What? How did you do a deck partial pen on the aft deck? The aft deck is 0.6 inches. How can you not pen that? How can you get how can you get a partial pen? That's weird. Unexpected. Ooh, 13-incher clipping the ship there. That's another couple of 13-inchers hitting and penning the bow of the Chinese ship. Looks like their superstructure has already taken a beating. We are approaching the Chinese issues with torpedoes. But the AI is so unpredictable when it comes to launching those. They also got the side mounts here. That is dual torpedo launchers, again, of course, 24 inches and 16-kilometer range. If this were my ship, I'd launch those as quickly as possible, just to have the ships forced to turn around. Or just make sure that you get at least one hit. Well, you can't exactly make sure of that, but you can try. And landing a 24-inch hit on any ship is going to cause a lot of damage. It might not win you the battle, but it can, well, it can tip the balance. And might buy you some time if you're in a bad spot. Speaking of bad spots, Kaguya has taken some structural integrity damage and it's starting to ramp up. The ship is somewhat flooded, and it's not something that I'm very concerned about, but her damage and stability is not exactly helping her accuracy. Accuracy is about 13-inch for those 18-inch guns. Sorry, 13% versus 23% for her sister ships. These ships are currently doing far better. And the Kaguya is well inside a range of the torpedoes now. The torpedo launcher is looking at the lead ship, but not yet launching. Oh, that was a big one. 2600 damage aft deck pen on the Chinese ship. Didn't cause a whole lot of flooding. There's another one. 1000 and 1700. The Hiei one and the Okahutaka another one. And this is what I mean. When those 18s work, they cause tons of structural integrity damage. And I think they knocked out the conning tower? That's bad news for the Chinese, because that's going to cost you your accuracy. Are they firing? Yeah, they're firing armor piercing. Boink. So far, so good. They didn't take another hit, but the Kaguya sure did. That was 1600 on one shell, 1300 on another. And I think that structural... Ooh... Structural integrity-wise, I think we're pretty even. The Chinese might have taken slightly more damage than the Japanese. But the Japanese are also suffering from... Oh, sorry, they're both suffering from flooding. So it's going to be the question of who keels over first and is unable to fire. Ricochet. Pen. Oof. Pen. Over-pen on the Kaguya. Nope. Her maneuvers are throwing off the Japanese accuracy, and it's helpful. At least for now. That was a partial, that was a 13-inch, and 18-inch would have probably gone clean through. Oh, so close. Kaguya. She's having an angle issue. But it might be the fact that her bow turret's unable to fire. Her stern, well, it's struggling a bit. So it's going to be up to Hiei and the Okahutaka to deal the damage now. Range, about 13 to 14 kilometers. Send the torps. Just do it. Flooding. Ooh. Serious damage here. $14k damage done by the Japanese. 13k damage done by the Chinese. Very even. Can the Kaguya survive? Her buoyancy isn't that bad. Is she able to fire, however? That's the real question. She probably is, but her turrets aren't turning fast enough. The 13s are. But these guys only have a degree... 2.16 degrees per second versus 3.20. It's far easier to keep those lighter 13-inch turrets on target than it is to get the almost 800-ton heavier 18-inch on target. The Japanese very much invested in trying to take this one down. Even though the others might be easier to pen, since they're broadside on. The Japanese do have a potential problem with their bow. The forebelt is 7.9 inch. And can get penned by these ships. Hold on, did we switch fire? Torps away! Torps away from Hiei. Interesting. That's going to cause... Well, it might cause a disruption to the maneuvers of the Chinese fleet. And if it does, it's going to force them to turn around. I'm not sure about their turret rotation, but they're 15.9-inch guns, so I think they're Mark IV. They'll turn fairly quickly, but I don't think they can keep up with the turn of the ship. In the meanwhile, the Kaguya, badly hurt. She is suffering her way through this fight. She's still alive. But considering her structural integrity and its severe drop, It's going to be a question of how long can she take this beating. She's still fighting. She's not so much listing over that she's unable to fire. We see the torps? Yeah, here they are. 4 of them. 1 of them apparently dropped out. That could cause some issues for the Chinese. They are pretty visible. I mean, not terribly so. They're not fast torps. I think they might be running standards. So, seeing as they have a 24-inch size, they're going to be slightly more visible at plus 19%. Damage done. Look at that. 16k, 17k. It's very close. I enjoy seeing these fights a heck of a lot more than the fights where the Austro-Hungarians just burn everything down and go home after 10 minutes. Because I still don't know who's going to win this one. Both ships. Yeah. The Kaguya is going to go down. The Chinese are still shooting. Okahotaka is also taking some damage, including flooding. Here come the torps, though. They've now seen the torps. They know about them. So now we're going to see the AI probably try and turn away. She's going to turn hard to starboard, because they always try and turn away from the torpedoes. Which will mean that they will get hit. Because had they turned in, they would have been fine. Turning out, not so much. Turning out's a problem. I think this one is going to cause issues for this ship. This torp might hit the other one. And I don't think the Teng Zhao is going to enjoy that. They have an anti-torp 1. Oh. No, they're squeezing right through. And none of the torps will hit. Wow. Bloody hell. The enemy has done a ton of damage. I was so focused on the torpedoes that I didn't really keep an eye on the damage log. The Okahotaka has been badly bruised by the Chinese in a very short period of time. That's a 2k damage hit. Yeah, that really takes a ship down fast. And with all that flooding, she has problems. She can't fire. Ship's keeling over too badly. That basically leaves only the currently badly damaged Chai to take the shot at the enemy. She sent her torps. And has no torpedoes from the other ships. Unfortunate. She did send her own torpedoes just now, but it's only a dual spread. 2 launchers against Chinese ships that are already turning. I don't think that's a problem. The Chinese have launched their own. If they hit the Japanese ships, that's a problem. A severe problem, because the Japanese don't have a torpedo blister. That's going to be very interesting. They also got only single hull bottom, which is potentially more concerning for them. Oof. How are the 18-inchers doing? 13,000 damage, 9,000 with the secondaries. Well, the 13-inchers, not the secondaries. The enemy, 32,000 damage. Ooh, that was a big hit. The Teng Zhao. That was not good for her. Where are you turning, Hyai? You don't want to be overturning this, because you will get hit. And the Chinese are fighting with 22-inch torps. If you stopped your turn, Hyai, you should be fine. If you continue your turn, you're gonna be in trouble. And keep in mind that the Chinese still have a full health ship. That's not looking good for the Japanese. That torpedo should sail past. Yep. Oh, the Kaguya finally launched her own torpedoes. Took them a while. There were 2 more torps on the way, but these ships have been turning around quite a bit. I think Teng Zhao is trying to fall in behind the Naizhang. And with that, will just be completely unharmed by the torpedoes. It's not looking good for the Japanese. I'm not seeing the 18-inchers fire anymore. Probably has to do with the fact that the ship's half underwater. Look at that stern. Now, I have seen somebody say in the comments, have you noticed how ships always list over to starboard? I haven't, but I've been looking at it over the past couple of battles, and he seems to be right. The ships always list over to starboard. Even if the damage is done to their port side, they always list over to starboard. This ship, listing to starboard. The other one, not yet damaged, so yeah, there's that. This one, over to starboard. I don't exactly understand why. I'm not confident enough to say that this is always happening, but it is interesting. I'm not sure if it's just like lazy animating or if ships do list over to port. We just haven't seen it in a while. But it is noticeable at this point. It's one of those things that once you start seeing it, you go, huh. Yeah, that's a little weird. Teng Zhao, despite her flooding, still able to fire. The Japanese can't quite say the same. Ooh, that was almost 1700 damage. There goes your buoyancy. There goes your buoyancy. Destroyed main tower. There goes your damage control. Crew-wise, 23%, 25, 1. 18% lost. Oof, 2600 damage. They're all very close together now, because they're probably constantly jockeying for position. Hiai is flooding. And will go down. She can't stop that. There she goes. That's one of the Japanese out of commission. And I think the other two are actually very quickly going to follow. The Japanese did manage to destroy one of the turrets aboard the Wang over here. That's at least some damage reduction. Or at least DPS reduction, but I don't think it'll do them any good. Because the Kaguya has no structural integrity left to speak of. By some miracle, she's able to get those guns to fire again. But the Chinese still have a full health ship. Oh boy. Ricochet, that's 394 damage. She's down to 8% and she lost her buoyancy. And she's down, leaving only the Okohutaka. And I think that it's all done for her. The real question is it going to be flooding or is it going to be buoyancy? It takes her down. Chinese have fought a good fight here. So have the Japanese. They almost succeeded in taking down 2 Chinese ships. But they were too divided with their attention to fully eliminate them. And they're now paying the price for it. It looks like one of the 18-inchers is not even trying anymore, the A turret. Structural down to 33%, buoyancy down to 23. She's coming alongside the sinking Kaguya. Oh, there goes the A turret again. Taking screenshots for thumbnails every now and then. Torpedo! Torpedoes away. Better late than never. But it might be a little too late at this point. And the Chinese with their sonar array. Wait, what sonar array? They don't have a sonar array. They won't see that in time. Interesting. So they'll probably keep cruising, turn out to port. If they're able to take down the Japanese ship before those torpedoes get here, then they don't have to worry about it. Yeah, there she goes. Sinking. I think that was all about a kilometer between each other. Very close distance. So, no Chinese ships were sunk. The Japanese, all of them dead. Unfortunate, but such is the way of the battle. Something of a close battle, but very much decided in the favor of the Chinese. Although the Japanese did it before fight. So, the Japanese, unfortunately no points. The points go to the Chinese, and I'm pretty sure they'll be happy with that result. Because this means the standings for China are 3 wins and a loss. Austria-Hungary is tied. They're both on 3 points. If Austria-Hungary wins their next encounter, and that's going to be against Japan, then they're going to move on. They will go on to the semi-finals. Let me show you the final stage so you can see what we can expect here. That's going to be the first from Group A and the second from Group B, and the first from Group B and the second from Group A. So if you're not the ultimate winner, you can still get to the finals, which means the Chinese are pretty solid in that regard. And at some point, they will encounter somebody from Group A, but we don't quite know who that's going to be. Next match is going to be France versus UK. I hope you'll join me for the next one. The French haven't done that well. The UK are very well on their way to making it to the semi-finals. And who they'll encounter there? Well, it could be China. It could be Austria-Hungary. Let's see in the future videos. Thank you for watching these. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon for the next one.